What's it take to call your brother? Just to say you miss him and you wish you could spend time. What's so serious that you can't just pick up the phone? Let him know you love him and that he's been on your mind. Tell him that you need your brother. Ask him how he's doing and say you've been doing fine. If there comes a point where you just don't know what to say, while you still have him on the line, just say, we'll be brothers forever. What happens to one of us happens to us together. And we'll be brothers forever. We'll be brothers forever. We'll be brothers forever.
Thank you. Anyways, that original song was like 20 minutes, by the way, so we're not sitting here for all that. Day 107. Day 107. Today was unlike any other day. No, sorry. Like every other day. Just working, getting home, play some basketball, do some cardio, and then eat dinner and straight to work. But I I can't say I did much today. I was low-key more researching than I was actually doing work because I like the idea of trying to master the fundamentals before you actually get started with anything. And I see that as a very good principle or good way to look at it in terms of trying to master anything. Is I don't think you can really truly get good at it if you don't understand and fully master the fundamentals. So I came into this perspective today, this afternoon, with the idea of taking a step back from progressing and coming back to try and fix up any errors or any trying to rekindle the steps I had crossed behind, trying to bridge the kind of fix the cracks in the road that I had originally crossed over. So I went back to such as just simply setting up product pages, simply creating product images, things like that, and just understanding just sort of the principles of it and what it really what every move can really do. And so now I understand more a little bit about how I can kind of position my product page, what it will look like, how I want it to be like, and more so just the intention behind everything I do with it. I've learned it's more like an 80-20 rule in how basically everything above the fold of your product page is practically 80% of what the customer was actually looking at, and 20% is basically your own twist on it that you would add to it. But 80% comes from everything above the fold, and other key fundamentals a little bit under the fold, which are basically what can make or break your website. And I also learned today that literal studies show from a bunch of consumers of a physical statistical heat map on your website. There's also websites, and there's also extensions and softwares for that. But a literal heat map that they placed on these customers showed that majority of these customers are not even looking at anything above below the fold, and so essentially that determines that everything above your fold will make or break your website. So you ensure that you need to display what your product can do, how it works, the benefits of it, and also your offer. So that all there needs to be within your above the fold, because chances are your customer's not even reading all that, So basically, could just be there for show. But doesn't hurt to write good copy either. So might as well make it, deck it out. But in the end, it's really not that serious because you're an untrusted brand. You're not reliable. You're a complete nobody. They have no reason to give you their time of day, and that's reasonable. That's fine. That's valid from their perspective. Whole time, I just want some money, bro. But yeah, you know. What else? Yeah, so that's what it is today. We got a lot more work to do, and it's starting to really dawn on me just how hard this shit is. You know. Matter of fact, I need the background music, cause we're about to get into some deep shit. No. Anyways, yeah, there is a lot of it.
What's it take to call your brother?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I feel like it's at this point now where I'm in the rut. I'm in the middle stage. I'm at the point where I failed, and I feel like this is a big point in time where people would just give up. But I can't do that, and this is it's the all-time low of the demotivation. I feel like this entire journey is never gonna be ups and ups. There will be many times where I don't feel like I want to do this. Not in terms of giving up, because I never will. I'll never give up. I can never give up. That is not the case here. It's just the demotivation and the burnout. People say if you really want it that bad, you will not experience the burnout. You not experience the demotivation because you so desire it that much. But that only applies to smaller scale things. When it's stuff like this that really determines your life. This is not something to play around. People do experience demotivation and burnout. To show that you really want it that much is to be able to push through the burnout and demotivation. Yo, what is this guy talking about?
Make that shine. Gotta be vamping up if you ain't having enough. One was the time we watched it. Hit a persona, we lost it.
Anyways, yeah. I'm not demotivated, but I guess I haven't moved on as much as I have before. I'm not declining. I'm just plateauing at the top. I've increased exponentially, but now it's come to a standstill where I haven't progressed or I haven't gone higher and higher. I haven't reached a higher high yet. I've just plateaued at this highest high. I'm at a peak right now. And it feels worse as just keep going. It feels as worse as progressing higher and higher. And yeah, this song, Code Brothers, it's helping me, feel the appreciation of letting the Maybach Boys support me time and time again. And it's in ruts like these where I'm not struggling, but like, I can feel it that I'm, not pumping as hard, that they're there to reassure that I have to keep going, And yeah, it's hard, man. It was never meant to be easy. And yeah. What is Kanye yapping about, bro? Some niggas winning, some niggas got cake. Some niggas famous, some niggas the fake. I was a bummer, the niggas gon' hate. All of us done it, we all could relate. Yeah. I had something I was gonna say, low key. There's a lot of things that I want to achieve. I'm sure you already knew that. What am I talking about, yo? I know what it was. I realize now just how much of my life I have to sacrifice to this just to become great, It's not really, hasn't hit me until now. And Lewis kind of made a really good point. That's why I really, that's why I brought up initially. Why I'm grateful for these moments. Where I'm forever stuck in a learning phase, stuck as a student, and learning from the environment I surround myself in. because that's the best way and most influential way to learn. You know, you may learn by yourself, but you won't learn as much as you will. You know, just being surrounded in an environment that's thriving around something, whatever there's something that they're constantly around. You're gonna learn a thing or two from them. What the fuck? Alright, yeah, enough of this music, bro. But yeah. Lewis gave me a bit of a reality check yesterday, or the other day, talking about just how much you truly have to sacrifice, because, and it's true, to be honest, how you can't be great at something if you want to just, if you're just average at it. You gotta keep going to be able to stick out those times, and you gotta really want it that badly to sacrifice everything else to win it all. And yeah, but it's come to a point where if I really want it that badly, I need to sacrifice everything. And I've already given up so much, but even now I still feel like it's not enough. But I feel like there might just be small things. Like, I gave up games years ago, like a year ago. I've given up. I'm starting to give up, just time. I'm starting to give up. No, time. Sorry. I'm starting to give up friends. I'm starting to give up experiences. I'm starting to give up people, just because I want to focus on this solely and only this. I'm starting to give up family. Like, I have to. Eventually, at one point, I need to be in complete isolation, no distractions, just being able to come here and work. And, this is really the hardest path I could have ever taken. I said before one time in a video that my character as me as a person can't take too many losses, can't take too much failure, or before I start tweaking. I think that was a bit of a, coping mechanism, because, my character does not determine, the identity at which I place myself doesn't have to determine what's to come in the future. Just because I am a certain way doesn't mean I have to stay that certain way. Me saying I can't take a lot of failure, I wouldn't count it towards more admittance. I'd count it more towards, cope. But yeah, I decided to take the hardest path in life, which is to constantly being beaten down, failing and failing and failing, and learning from that. So I really need to get my mind in check. And it's hard, bro. Stuck in permanent discomfort every single day, every single second of my life. There will not be a single time where I will ever feel, I could feel remotely at peace, satisfied, or overall doing well. I'll always be hard at work. And as long as I'm hard at work, there's nothing really you could be happy about in terms of, there. Like, I'll be at peace, but action over thought and inaction. So whatever I'm doing at that current state, I would need to be putting myself in these discomfort zones, in these uncomfortable areas. But yeah, it's not easy, bro. But I'm willing to do everything, bro. I'm going all in. I'm trying to, do the most I can, but Kanye did say trying is failing. And that's one thing I could learn from Kanye. But yeah. One more time. Yeah. There's no point in being successful if I don't make it out with anyone else. I don't want to be a millionaire and lonely. That's also, I want to be able to, I want to be, able to do something with others, not just be alone all day. And hopefully, yeah, we can get that. I don't know. I'm yapping. I'm gonna stop now. It's day 107 or something. I don't even know. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.